Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Good, good.
Good, thanks.
Okay, good. Jess is about to drop the link in the chat. We're gonna get started here in a second.
I just dropped it.
Okay.
Yeah, I dropped the YouTube in the chat.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All right.
All right, y'all. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. I'm gonna share my screen right now. Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you sound
Yeah.
perfect. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Sunday.
Okay. Good. Okay. So, last week we were over here. We talked about these break and retest, and price heading up to here. And then actually, no, we were already up here. We were expecting price to pull back down and then head up based off of a fib from here to here. I made mention that we were at the bottom of an overall, the bottom of a zone, which was this portion over here, which is what we needed to be cautioned about, this light blue zone here. And so as we've seen, price came down and just barely kissed the entry that we were looking for a buy. So if you missed it, no problem. But the main thing is that price was rejecting here a lot, and we ultimately didn't get the pullback that we wanted for the continuation of price really just respected this point over and over again. So if you guys got in on the trade and maybe got stopped out, good for you. Once you've seen these candlesticks right here, we've seen that we were very bearish. So I mentioned that if price had pulled back past this zone, we would need to see some kind of bullish variation based on like a minor time frame, let's say like a 5 minute or 15 minutes, something like that. We never got those confirmations for a buy afterwards over here. So this whole trend line here pretty much became invalid. The next thing we could have been looking for was, okay, how deep did we want to pull back based off of this fib here? Because until price comes down here, this fib's still valid. So the next thing we should have been paying attention to was structure. So I'm going to get rid of this trend line here, right? So as structure started playing out more and more throughout the week, we've seen that we started creating divergence down to the support zone. So that gave me a clue that, okay, we could be looking to get a break and retest or a buy, which we did. We got an entry for here, the break and retest of this trend line, and then we got a retest of this zone here. And then you guys pretty much know from that point, you pull out your fibs and then you take your profits at the TP levels, which are negative 27 here and negative 618, depending on how far price pulls back. So if you didn't catch this here, or if you did take a minor loss here, it shouldn't have been no issue based off of you know what I'm saying, collecting over 200 pips on this move here. And yeah, about 140 pips there. That would have easily made up that loss if you guys had taken that loss based off of what we've learned from just over the years. So price came up, hit our negative fib levels at the top of the zone. Once again, we did not get a break of main structure as far as pulling back higher, which we were anticipating was going to go up here. We didn't get those confirmations. So price rejected, came back down here and started forming again. What we saw over here to the left, divergence, broke, retested, caught a buy, but price did not go as high as we needed to as far as that due to news dropping. So when news dropped, this whole structure point was pretty much broken, as we've seen that retested and sold for, I want to say over 100 and what was it? Yeah, it was a good amount of pips. It was like over 160 pips. So from that point, our bias on the whole pullback at the beginning of the week was pretty much invalid. We should have just been looking for sales and moving along with the markets. Anybody have any questions on anything so far?
Yeah, quick question. Because you mentioned when news dropped, right? And I've been trying to sort of work on and focus on how to incorporate fundamentals into my technical analysis. When you have a move that you have set up and you're waiting for, right? Whether it's on major or minor, and let's say you have confluences that hit prior to a few hours before a major news event. how do you approach that? Like, do you maybe pause even though you have those technical confluences until the news event drops? Or do you just go ahead and move regardless?
9 times out of 10, I'm moving regardless. The thing about trying to wait on news is by the time Forex Factory, you get your update of what the news output is gonna be. The move is already like over 100 pips, or it's already either skyrocketed or sank, depending on which way the markets are going. So your best bet is making sure your technicals are on point in order to catch that move. Now, we knew we were in sales overall because we had talked about this whole play in the past 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So all we were really looking at for this move last week was how far price wanted to pull back before continuing. And on a super high time frame from here to here, this pullback here is no more than 23%. So it was just one of those things where, like I always tell you guys, week after week, we just kind of have to adapt, pay attention to structure being broken and retested in order to get that. Did I answer your initial question though?
Yeah, you did. I
Okay.
ran into a situation with a different pair though, where it like leading up to the news, I was waiting for a rejection off of a zone, and when the news immediately hit, it actually went in the opposite direction of what I was waiting for, but it whipped way past the zone and past my stop loss, but then it eventually corrected itself and went in the direction it was supposed to go. But the news, I guess, just triggered it to blow past where my stop loss was at. So that's part of the reason why I'm asking.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't sound like you're too far off. But it's just your technicals got to be on point in order for news to be in your favor. If you're not too sure, I would just wait for news to play out and then just catch it. So like for an example right here, right? This whole candle, this whole candle right here is news. But afterwards, we had this whole play right here, which was a pullback. So it retraced most of the news output anyway. So if you would have caught this here and caught the sell, I mean, you would have been fine anyway. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, great.
So
Great.
if
Thank you.
no problem. So like if you're not too confident about what's going to happen, don't risk it. Just you know what I'm saying, let it do what it do, and then just capitalize off that from there because I mean the markets aren't going anywhere. Does anybody have any more questions based off last week before we get into what I'm seeing this week? No. Okay. So, this week I want to tell you guys is NFP week, so we need to be very cautious of getting in on trades. We need to be very patient on getting in on trades because not only is it NFP week, but currently, I'm gonna show you guys this right quick. President Biden is looking to get a deal signed to where we're raising our debt limit. So basically, if you don't understand what that is basically the US owes money because we're constantly borrowing money. And it's a weird thing. It's like we're borrowing money to pay money off. So the debt is never ending. Based off that, they're looking to get this deal done by June 5th. Okay. So if this deal gets done, then our debt limit is increased. The value of the dollar I'm anticipating will get weaker, and I'm anticipating gold to get stronger, obviously, because people will be investing in it as a safe haven. And that would be as a result of me anticipating gold to go bullish long term. But if this deal doesn't get done, let's say by June 5th, then we're looking at people with 401ks no longer getting paid potentially. Military veterans, if you have a retirement pension, that comes to stop. Current people that are in the military could look at not getting paid in general. And they were also anticipating over 30 million Americans or 40 million Americans, something like that, being affected in a negative way and pretty much causing an economic collapse. So be on alert as far as when this whole thing goes down, because it's going to sway the markets one way or another heavily. Like I said, if you're not too confident with your technicals, just wait for that impulse, that overall thing to play out, and then catch the retrace for the market to continue in the favor that it's going. As far as news for NFP week and all this other things, we can look at the markets to get real busy come Wednesday. So we have all these red folder news from Wednesday all the way through, well, actually no, Tuesday all the way through Friday. So pretty interesting week and things to watch out for. Currently we're in a consolidation zone. So me personally, I will not be taking any trades until I get either a break of these lows. Okay, I will not personally be taking any trades until I get a break of these lows here or this high. So basically, I'm looking for a break and retest of either one to see what price wants to do and tell us. Now, you can take a trade based off support and resistance, but understand it's going to be risky. So it's really up to you and if you're feeling comfortable with taking that risk. Also, what I want to show you guys is, let me see here. So let's say price breaks down here. If you're gonna take a sell potentially, look for price to clear 1936, clear as day, and preferably 1931, and I'll show you why. This here is a major support zone. If we look left, let me get you to it. Over here. You guys seeing that clearly?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna want to see this thing break clean. And I'm talking like clean break, retest, and then fall. You're not gonna want to see some little petty just nothingness because you'll get easily caught up in that. Or if we're gonna take a buy, we're gonna want to see not only a break in the zone, but a potentially break in this one here. Now, this right here is I believe this is my weekly. I'm gonna make this back. I believe this is my weekly trend line. Let's see here. Right here. Go down to my days. Okay, boom. So I talk about structure all the time. You see here, 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 here. We're currently approaching a overall trend line here. So that's why I'm telling you, if we're gonna take a sell, it needs to be a strong break because price can easily play around this level easily. Also, it's kind of giving me potential buys as well, which is why I'm saying based off of why I think news could swing into our favors. Because if we're at a strong support zone, a strong trend line as far as overall structure, and then let's say news plays out in our favor, we can look for a break and retest here before carrying it up. And I'm gonna leave that there because I don't want to get too far into what I think. But things to be cautious for as of now. So does anybody have any questions based off of this week's moves or anything? Going once, going twice.
Yeah, quick question since you asked.
Yes, sir. Go
You're
ahead.
talking about, yeah, when you're talking about breaking a support or resistance zone, right? And obviously you're looking for a break and retest. And one of the signs that we typically look for to show us that we're really getting rejection is exhaustion. Is there a specific time frame that you're looking for the exhaustion candle to actually form, like 15-minute versus 30-minute? Do you have a preference on that to actually be able to say, okay, this is actually an exhaustion candle that formed versus a fake out?
I'm typically on my 1 hour time frame as far as like my higher time frames. And then once I see what I need to see, I'll hop down to my 15 and my 5-minute. If I need, it just depends on how price is looking for me as far as like the clarity of it. Typically the 4 hour looks pretty good too, but obviously, if you're waiting on a 4 hour time frame, like you're gonna be waiting for forever.
Okay, got
So
it.
for my higher time frames, my 4 hour, 1 hour, my lower time frames, my 15 minutes, and
Got it. Thank you.
no problem. Anybody else?
I have a question in regards to your as far as your lot size. When I see like major rejection, 1 hour and up time frame, if it's on the foundation level, and the rejection is of like a major zone, I'm talking 1 hour and up, or a major trend line, and I'm seeing all this and I see divergence. When you see like multiple confluences, I'm talking, and then the candlestick formation, like maybe 4 or something confluences, do you ever up your lot size, or is it just like you keep the same every time?
My lot sizes are based off my weekly goal. So I don't really know how to answer that quick. It just depends on your confidence as far as your lot size. That's the simplest I can put it.
Copy that. Thank you.
No problem. I'm about to check the chat right quick. See, if he measures it.
Yeah, Malik, I've got a question.
Oh, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, how do you sort of not get faked out by minor structure?
You don't get faked out by monostructure by having your main structures marked off. So like your zones, support resistances, fib levels. Just know when you come to certain points within your main structure, that's when you want to hop down on minor structure to see what's really going on. Like you don't want to hop down on minor structure exactly right here where price is currently, because you know we're in the middle of consolidation. Like it would make no sense to hop down on minor structure and try to keep it right there. You want to wait for price to come to one of your main key areas and then see what you need to see to get in on this trade. Does that answer your question? Like that'll prevent you from getting faked out as much. The markets are still going to do what they want to do, but it'll decrease your chances because you know you have a high probability of support or resistance playing out based off of where prices played out on higher time frames.
Okay, so if you're looking at structure on the 1 hour, you're waiting for the break on the 1 hour. You're not looking for breaks on the lower time frames, are you?
Once price comes to a higher time frame level, then I will hop down to my lower time frame.
Okay, that's where I find it a little confusing.
So yes and no. Are you there?
Yep.
Okay. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. I think so.
No problem.
Malik, if I could jump in really quick on that, that was Ben who asked that, right? Because it sounds like what you were saying is you probably spend a good amount of time when you're analyzing your charts on the higher time frame until you see you're at an area of value of some point, whether it's on a major trend line, major zone, or whatever, or a fib level, and then you drop down to see what's really going on. So it sounds like you're spending a good amount of time onto the major first, and then when you know you're on a major area where something should be happening, then you drop down to the minor to really like pinpoint when is the best time to enter and what we're doing. Is that correct?
Exactly. That's exactly correct.
Okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying there. There was a question that I had looking at your chart now. It's probably going to be hard for me to sort of say where I'm looking at, but your last fib that you've got drawn there, yep, right there. So where your cursor is, go up a little bit to where that low is, across to your right. Yep, there. So I'm looking at that level there, and I can see that like we had a high that was formed from that last higher low. This is on the minor structure. So the high was formed at the negative 27, and then the lower high was just below that on minor. No, to your left. Yeah, that one. And then that level got broken. So on the minor structure, I'm thinking, that was a break of that higher low, which then now we're looking for the retest to push lower. Is that sort of like what you're looking at, or?
Yeah, so you're making sense. It just so happened in this case, because I mean, we have the pullback of 50%. So it's just one of those things where the markets are going to do what it's going to do. The way we trade here is not bulletproof, and I don't want you guys to get that confused. Like, the main thing is every time you see the setup that you need to see, you need to it's for you to pretty much take the trade and just keep swinging. Like you're gonna have more wins than you would losses. So this is just one of those examples where we hit the fib levels, we're at a key area, price rejected, broke the minor structure on that, but it didn't play out in our favor per se right then and there.
Okay, yeah, that's helped a lot because I've been doing a lot of back testing, and I've sort of found that like when there is that fake up, that fake out, say the break, and then I'm looking for the retest, and I do get exhaustion and the signal to enter. This is on back testing, obviously, and then I enter, then having all the confirmations for it to go in the direction that I'm anticipating, but then it to just go in the opposite direction. So I think that what you've just said has sort of helped clarify, because I'm always looking for that really high percentage winning rate, that when this happens, it sort of gets to me, because I think, oh, well, I saw everything that I needed to see, but then it didn't play in my favor. So yeah, it does get to me.
Yeah, for sure, man. Just that's the main thing I would tell you is don't let that stuff psych you out. Like losses happen. I don't care what you guys are seeing on social media, the best gurus, all that stuff. Like they all take losses, but not everybody's posting their losses or talking about how you need to keep swinging when you see your setups. You know what I'm saying? So stay seeing what you're seeing and stay doing what you're doing. Like if that's what you're seeing, like you're on the right track.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Can I just say really quickly on that one? That was a good, I just wanted to say, because it sounds like what you were saying, Ben, is you saw there was a bearish push that looked like it created a new low there. And you thought that, and it looked like that was a break, correct?
Yes.
And so I'm noticing, and Malik, maybe you could quickly comment on this, because Jess always talks about how, you know, support and resistance, yeah, we originally learned it as lines, but they're not lines, they're zones, right? So she always is talking about how price really has to push away for us to really consider it a break. And I think that's an example where, because I've been caught by something like that, as well. And I think that's an example where it's not really a breakaway. Like that wasn't really a break, because that's still the whole zone of that whole support and resistance area that you're referring to. And so that fake out for at least for me in the past, has really been impatience, because it didn't really push away. Price never really pushed away.
I agree on that one.
Yeah, I'll just add
Yeah,
to
me
that.
too.
I feel like that's sort of subjective, because what can happen within structure is you can have a break of the low, which could be a candle close. I've also noticed that on some people might class a wick as a break as well. But having back onto that example, because there was a lot of bullish momentum pushing down past that low, I figured that to be a break, instead of, because if it was say a break with a doji or like lower momentum, then I wouldn't see that as a break. I'd see that just as a test.
You can also draw a trend line on that. You see that it like kind of went a little bit past the trend line and just hugged it all the way up. Like it didn't really break the trend line. It just kind of hugged it.
Yeah, and then the other thing I would say, Ben, the question I would have then is, yeah, even if it looked like a potential break, where was the retest?
Appreciate y'all guys chiming in on that. Ben, did you get your questions answered, or was it I don't even know how to say your name.
Yeah, I think that you answered it by it would have just resulted in a loss if I did take the trade. So I think that probably eases my mind a bit more, knowing that I'm on the right path, the way that I'm looking at things. But just in this instance, if I had taken it, it just would have resulted in a loss, and just going back over the trade and seeing where I went wrong and readjusting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Does anybody else have any questions for me?
Hi.
Hello?
Hello, yeah.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have a question for Jessica, but it's not a chart question. It's to do with the course, if that's okay.
Let me see 1 second. She said, yeah, hold on 1 second.
I do have a question regarding the chart that we're currently on, when you have a moment.
Okay, whoever has a question about the course, can you drop the question in the chat? I'll be sure to ask Jessica. She'll get back to you after this call.
Okay, thank you.
no
So do you want me to
problem.
message you?
Yeah, you can message me or just message on this
Hey,
number.
if it's a course question, the course, we have our monthly call every first Monday. So are you going to be on the call next week?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have that literally next week for sure.
Oh, okay. I think that was what my question was about, because I bought the course. I didn't get the
You didn't get what?
I didn't get the automated call. I bought it about 3 months ago.
Oh, that means you didn't go through your course then, because it's in a welcome letter. If you go to the welcome letter, the link is there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And all the directions of how to access the automated call is every first Monday of every month for everybody that's in the course. So it's in the welcome. Yeah, it's on the very, like, it's literally in the very, before you go through any module, the
Mhm.
welcome is like the very first thing. And then it breaks down the automated call, and then it has the Zoom link there. And then it says that it's every first Monday of the month. And then also your Facebook link is there as well.
Okay. I did try and request for the Facebook, but I didn't get added. So those two were my only questions.
Is your name matching your name that you spent for the course?
Yes.
Okay, well, what's your name? I'll make sure Liz checks on that. I'll message her right now and ask her to check on it. Can you put your full name in the chat, please?
Yeah. Do you want me to send it to you? Okay, I will.
Wait, just put it in chat. I could see it.
Okay, perfect.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
No worries.
So who was it that said they had a question about the chart currently?
It was Katora. So right above your red arrow, you have that blue line above it. And if I'm looking at it correctly, it coincides, if you drag it all the way up to where Ben was talking about the fake out happen, or where does that relate to that time frame or that move in the trade, or what made you draw that line there? Because it seems if you extend it up towards the left, that lower high.
Are you talking about this one right here?
Yes.
Okay, so what made me draw this was basically me identifying divergence. So anytime I identify divergence, which is pretty much how this is here and over here, I'm anticipating structure to be broken and the trend line to get retested for a buy up.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Anybody else? Okay. If nobody has any questions for me, I wish you guys the best this week. Just remember, be cautious because it is NFP week, and remember, June 5th is when they're expecting this whole deal to get done for our debt limit. So be on the lookout for that, and I hope you guys do great. I'll see you guys next week.
Appreciate it, bro.
Thank
No
you.
problem, no problem.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Appreciate you.
Problem.
Thanks.
Rakaya.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Liz just went into or
Jess.
just messaged me and said that it's not the same, and I'm typing your name in the course like background. Are you sure it's spelled correctly so she can match it?
Let me try. It might be 2 Qs. I'll send it to you again.
Okay, just make sure they're both matching, and of course she'll add you for sure. And sorry you guys for the ones that think it's too difficult to get in the Facebook group. The only reason is because y'all know it's so many like scamming people out there that like it's just been a lot. It's been a hassle. It's been so annoying, and I still don't know why Instagram still won't verify me. Like it's been a whole thing, but that's neither here nor there.
Can I ask you, sorry to cut you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Where is the link for is there a link for the automated one? I see the link for this call, but I don't see one on the welcome page for the Monday one.
It's the same.
Okay, it's just the same. It's just
Yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. And it's every first Monday of every month. So this upcoming month, it'll be on the 5th. That's the first Monday of this upcoming month.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
No worries. All right, you guys. So I will see you guys next week. All right. V says she needs to be added too. I'm gonna check with Liz on these, but she's 100% very like she's very vigilant when it comes to these. So I'll double check with her. But if you haven't been added, 9 times out of 10, it's because the name doesn't match. All right. All right, bye.